Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of our RANT series. Today we're going to discuss the recent news out of the Journey camp. Seems like we just did this not long ago, and we're back again because you knew eventually they'd be filling in the spots left after the departures of founding bassist Ross Valory and longtime drummer on and off, Steve Smith, who were ousted from the band. We're not going to get into that whole story. If you want, go to our Rant playlist and check out the whole discussion we had there. Been a lot of slinging back and forth and half-truths and full truths and nothing but the truth and, who cares? At this point, unfortunate incident. Ross Valory, Steve Smith are no longer in the band. Steve Smith, I should say. No longer in Journey. So there was that kind of void left for a while. And, before the pandemic hit, Journey had, of course, a whole summer tour plan. So you knew they were going to have to, fill those two positions at some point. Even though the whole summer tour thing is basically off now because of the lockdown, because of COVID-19, still got to get some guys in the band, still got to make some appearances, right? So they announced just last week, a couple days ago, as a matter of fact, they announced the replacements, okay, the new members of the band. Which, I got to say, one, kind of not a surprise because they went back to the well and pulled back an old favorite, someone who was in the band for a brief period of time in the 80s. The drummer, however, surprised the hell out of me. And I think it's a great choice. It's a great way to get this legendary drummer, producer, songwriter, singer a chance to be like in the arena spotlight once again for the first time in a really long time, I think. And if they let him, that's the key point here. If they let him, he can bring so much to the table. So on drums for Journey now, again, we'll see how long this lasts, but Narada Michael Walden. I mean, this is a guy who has a resume to freaking die for. Not only has he played he was in the second lineup of the Mahavishnu Orchestra with John McLaughlin. Okay, he played on the Apocalypse album. He played on Visions of the Emerald Beyond album and Inner World. So that's 74, 75, 76. Toured with the band. Okay, he played a little bit with Tommy Bolin on the Teaser album. He has recorded with Chick Corea. He played drums on Jeff Beck's Wired album. Okay, he's played with Alphonso Johnson. He's played with Alan Holdsworth. He's played with Jaco Pastorius. He's played with Weather Report. He's played with Robert Fripp. He's recorded with Carlos Santana. He has produced, all right, and his resume as a producer is even more insane. Regina Bell, George Benson, all right, Mariah Carey, Ray Charles, Clarence Clemens, Sheena Easton, Aretha Franklin, Al Green, Whitney Houston, Al Jarreau, Elton John, Patti LaBelle, LaToya Jackson, Eddie Murphy, Pointer Sisters, Diana Ross, Sister Sledge, Starship, The Temptations, Steve Winwood. The list goes on and on and on and on. I mean, and if you just don't take my word for it. Go onto here on YouTube and look up clips of him playing drums for any of those acts. Right, watch some of those old Mahavishnu Orchestra clips, or just listen to the songs. The guy is a powerhouse drummer. He's got solo albums to his credit as well. The guy, made a name for himself playing like jazz fusion and funk. He's terrific. He's, you don't replace a guy named Billy Cobham if you don't have the shit, right? He's got it. He may look a little different now. He's obviously a bit older and what have you, but if you went online and watched the clip, they did like a little benefit video last week, the band laying out, unveiling the new lineup, and they did a version, a new version of Don't Stop Believin', all from their own quarantine, put it all together, and he's thundering away on the drums. And there's no disrespect to Steve Smith, because, Steve Smith is one of my favorite drummers of all time. But, realistically, did Steve really want to play with Journey for the rest of his life? It's a good meal ticket for him, right? Steve's love, and in his heart, is jazz. Steve's got his own jazz band, Vital Information. Terrific band. That's his main love. But you know what? Journey paid a lot of bills, I'm sure, for many years. And when he first rejoined, Journey again, because he was in the band for a number of years throughout their initial heyday, right, back in the late 70s, early 80s. Sure, he made a good amount of money then, but then he was away from the band for a long time. came back for trial by fire, left again, and then after the incident with Dean Castanova, they invited Steve back. I'm sure he's collected some, good amount of cash over that span of time. But now he's free to go back to do jazz again. So in comes Narada Michael Walden. Like I said, no disrespect to Steve, an amazing drummer. I think Mr. Walden is going to bring an element to this band that we haven't seen in a long time. So let's get back to the rest of the new lineup, all right? So back once again on bass, you got Randy Jackson, okay, who, of course, was in the band on the Raised on Radio era. So the mid-'80s, right? After amazing how he replaces Ross Valory twice, right? Of course, Randy Jackson, made it originally a guy who played a lot of fusion stuff, whatever. He's played with Jean-Luc Ponty for a number of years, did all sorts of other stuff. And, of course, very famous for being a judge on, American Idol for a long, long time. Also a producer, okay? Sings as well, so he'll be able to provide some background vocals. So again, he kind of slots right in after not being in the band for over 30 years. So interesting, to see him back in the band once again. But wait, there's more. There's more. So in addition, they have decided to bring on board, and again, he filled in, I believe he did some live dates with them, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if it's the same guy. But they now have a second keyboard player to back up Jonathan Cain, a guy named Jason Derlatka, who is now going to be second keyboard player and backing vocalist. I'm not sure if Jason, because on a recent tour, it might not be the same guy. They had a second, in fact, you know what? I'm going to check that out right now, as a matter of fact, because it might be a different guy. Let's see. Actually, no. So it's not. It wasn't him. Travis Thibodeau was the guy I was thinking of. He helped them out on various tours from like 2016 through 2019. So Jason Derlatka is actually brand new in the band. Just joined within the last 6-8 months or what have you. So he now joins Narada Michael Walden and Randy Jackson to formulate the new lineup of Journey, along with Neil Schon, Jonathan Cain, and Arnel Pineda. Okay, so now that we got all that out of the way, so where's the band go from here? So, with no ability to play any live dates in the very near future, will that change come September, October, November? Nobody knows at this point. But all the summer dates that would unveil this new lineup of the band is basically out the window. Could they do some special online streaming concerts? Yeah, I'm sure they can. Television appearances? I'm sure they can. We'll see what happens. For my money, I would love to have these new guys make an impact on a new album. Journey hasn't had a new album now in a number of years. Although that last album they put out was pretty terrific. All right, that Kick-Ass Eclipse album, which I thought was one of their hardest rocking albums, and didn't really do big business because it wasn't kind of tailor made to the hit market, right? But some great songs on that album, I think. Great vocal performance from Arnel Pineda, the whole band just rocking out and just doing an album they wanted to do, But I would love to hear Narada helping out with the songwriting and the producing and laying down those terrific drum fills, the powerhouse drumming that he does, which is so full of groove, all right? And I'm just salivating thinking of it. Randy Jackson, good bass player. Will we miss Ross Valory? Of course we will. But, Randy's no slouch. Okay. Also, good songwriter, decent voice, can help out with the production. Gonna have extra keyboards, right? 'Cause you got now Jonathan Cain and the other new guy. So, would it be kind of cool to hear a new Journey release that maybe plays upon all the strengths of this new band now? Does some new material that maybe, the extra songwriting helps out, I don't know. I mean, you got all this jazz fusion background of both Narada and Randy. Maybe some of that comes to the forefront. We know Neil is into it, right? We heard lots of references on that Santana 4 album. All right, you've heard some. If you follow Neil on Facebook, I mean, he posts like videos of him jamming at home in his music room all the time. I mean, he's still got the fire for all that stuff. I would love to hear a Journey album where they just basically say, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna make a rip roaring Journey album that harkens back to the '70s, right? The stuff, or we'll write a couple songs that maybe could be hits or whatever, but let's put down some fiery arrangements and let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. We got the guys in the band now that can help make it happen. I don't know. I would love to see it. Or is Randy and Narada and are these just sidemen here collecting a paycheck? Just gonna go out and eventually when they get on the road do the tours. No album in sight. They hang around for a couple of years and I don't know. I don't know. You have to think. So Neil's not getting any younger. He's not going to do this forever, and Neil has got to be a very, very wealthy man. Same thing with Jonathan Cain. Does Journey have another 5 years in him? Wouldn't surprise me. At least. Could they go longer than that? We'll see, because by then, Neil and Jonathan are both in their 70s, and might be a little long in the tooth at that point. Although some people right now might say they're a little long in the tooth. I don't know. Anyway, so it is just a little discussion of here's where Journey are at now in 2020. What do you think? Do any of you care? I know there's folks out there who watch the channel who don't give a crap about Journey. Hey, that's fine. I still dig the band. I always have. They're one of my kind of more like arena rock pop pleasures, and I've always dug them, and I think Neil's a fantastic guitar player. And I've always loved their tunes, no matter what they do, for the most part. And, so I think this is kind of an interesting kind of little detour in their history now. And I, for one, am curious to see kind of where they go from here. Is it just a new touring ensemble, or are they indeed going to maybe record some new music? I'm stoked having Narada Michael Walden in the band. Like I said, I just hope he's not just kind of wasted there, and contributing nothing else, because I think he's so talented. This cat is good, folks. In fact, he's great. So as much as I love Steve Smith, I do. This guy, that just opens up some possibilities that could be endless if they decide to go that route. If they decide, well, you know what, when lockdown lightens up and we could just go out there and tour, we're just going to tour for a couple of years, and that's that. Well, that'll be cool too. I'm sure seeing him perform up there live will be great, but I'd love to hear new music with him kind of really contributing. That's what I'd love to hear. So anyway, this is on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Coming up later on today, I'm going to reveal my favorite vocalists, singers of all time. That's coming up, so you don't want to miss that. Lots happening this weekend, so stay tuned, and we'll see you real soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.